This is a 1973 Camaro Z28. This is a real Z28. It's kind of a pro touring car. It was an original automatic, but it's been had a whole drivetrain upgrade and now has a Muncie 4-speed. It's got a pretty sweet drivetrain upgrade. I'm going to take it easy through here and we'll get on the road. I'll get on it. The engine was pulled and rebuilt, bored over to a 355. She's got a Lunita cam, aluminum intake, 882 heads, roller tipped rockers, Keith black pistons. Got the upgraded Cal induction hood. It's got a new 4-speed Muncie transmission, a hydraulic clutch, true locking rear end. It's got a long tube headers with Flowmaster exhaust, power steering, disc brakes. This car is just a ton of fun. It's a sweet driver, and especially for what we're selling it for, this is a car that you can drive without having too much money in it. I'm gonna get out here and kind of get on it a little bit. It's probably enough for the neighborhood. Cruising down the road, we got cruising right at 160, no problem. Cooling system with a dual electric fans, works perfectly. Really, all the drivetrain is basically new. When I say basically, I mean it's got a few thousand miles on it, being driven around to the local car shows and things like that, taking it for cruises, going up to the North Georgia mountains and going to cruising. It's got a Moroso lowering springs on the front, 3-stage pearl paint. It's very expensive. That guy scared me. All new exhaust system. My buddies call this car eye candy and ear candy. It's a gorgeous car. Let's pull over here in a minute and we'll walk around it. This pearl, you couldn't even come close to building this car for the price. When you spend this much rebuilding the engine, swapping the tranny over, rear end, it's got about $9,000 just in the drivetrain alone. Another almost $2,000 in wheels and tires. And a paint job like this is extremely expensive. It's got a new Sony stereo. got the iPod connections on it, which is really nice. Turn signals, lights, brake lights, all that work perfectly. There's one downside to this car, if you want to call it that. It's a little hard to drive slow. This car was built to go fast. I'm not saying it's a drag car or a race car. It's just a fun little pro touring style car, but man, it just touch the gas, this thing giddy ups. It's got a Holley double bumper. The air conditioner's not hooked up on it. Over in here and take a quick look around the car. Got a really nice aggressive sounding Flowmaster exhaust. Got good oil pressure. Good throttle response. Got a really nice looking engine. Of course, it's all new. You can hear that exhaust, sounds nice. Got a really nice looking engine detail. Under the hood, it's fantastic. There's no rust that I found in this car. Got a bunch of pictures of the undercarriage of it. Just gonna put these hood lock pins back on. Body lines on the car are super straight. As I said in the video a second ago, it's got a 3-stage pearl. Just to give you an idea, I hope you can see it in the camera because it's gorgeous. It's got a luminescent pearl color to it that's just absolutely gorgeous. It's a very expensive paint job, done right. Like I said, the body lines on this car are super straight. The paint job's probably about 5 years old. It's got a couple of driver little tiny imperfections because the car is a driver. I have been keeping a close eye on these cars because I just absolutely love them, and you're usually looking at in the high 20s to the low 30s for one of these cars perfect. And the problem with that to me is I don't want to drive it when I spent that much money on it. Want to be so careful with it. So I love this car because while it's almost perfect, it's got its couple of tiny imperfections, and really mostly just cosmetic. And the mechanicals of this car are in fantastic shape, all new drivetrain. And so what you've got is a killer 10-footer that is an awesome driver. You can take your kids to school in, you can drive around, you could drive this car to the office every day if you wanted to. I mean, so that's what I love about this car. It's got some sweet Eagle alloys, the staggered offset. Interior is all new. Door panels in fantastic shape. Brand new seat covers. This is another thing my wife actually raved about. She said, "Oh gosh, Eric, I love this car because it doesn't have the vinyl seats. It's not burning my legs when I get in it." So the nice thing is you got the vinyl sides and the vinyl piping, but then you've got this cloth that looks really, really nice, and it doesn't get hot in the sun like the vinyl, so you can just hop right in it with your girl. And that's a big deal in my house because I've got my wife and my 2 girls, and they're always complaining about vinyl seats being hot on their legs because they wear short shorts and stuff. As I said, all the lights work. It's got a brand new Sony stereo in it, some 5x7s in the back. Side lights working, running lights working, turn signals. It's really sunny out today, which is gorgeous for driving, but makes it hard to see the lights, so I hope that you can see that the lights are on. Brake lights, turn signals, everything. This is a super fun driver. Let me show you as I've got a little more time. You've got a little speck right there, just a little tiny nick right there. Got one little spot right here, just like just a touch of I mean, not even size of rice, grain of rice or anything there. But an imperfection, and then you've got there is this one tiny bubble right here that is about the size of if you took a pea and cut a quarter of it off and laid it down on the car. None of these things which you see when you're 5 feet away even. There's a tiniest little kind of a crack right there. I'm trying to think of what else. I've looked this car over so many times. Now the original emblems were taken off and these Z28 emblems were put on. And that's one thing that did bother me, is there was a little imperfection on both sides right next to it. Just to give it a more kind of a pro touring look, the Z28 emblems were put on it like that. And you can tell by pulling the VIN and everything, it's a true Z28, which is really cool. You know, not just some clone car. It has been lowered. It's got air shocks in the back, more also springs in the front. It's got a nice low ride to it, super low ride, making it a little bit difficult to load on and off the trailer. This is not a trailer queen though. This is a car you need to be driving to your car shows and cruising around in. It rides down the road so smooth, so nice. It's got when you hop on the gas, it's got a very aggressive sound to it, the exhaust, but when you're cruising, it's not overwhelming. You can still hear the radio. This is a car that just gets tons of looks. It's really, I have to be careful with the tension of it because it's a friggin' gorgeous car. It's not perfect. Because it's got those couple little tiny things, and you know, like you could hook up the AC. Trying to think of what else. Maybe the heater needs to be hooked up. Just those couple. It could use some seat belts. It doesn't have seat belts in it. But really, just little stuff. A lot of things that some people don't even care about. Honestly, I would put the seat belts in it, but I don't really care about the AC. I drive with the windows down all the time. So, but everybody's different. This is just a freaking sweet car that somebody's gonna have a ton of fun in. The price is fantastic. It kills the other cars that I'm seeing, you know, at $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 more. This thing is just super nice.